one other card from Mr. Glen, I'm sure it's Gibellina. Gibellina. Okay. And we will talk about parental rights also.
That's correct.
You're recognized.
Thank you. My name is Glen Gibellina. I'm a citizen of Florida. Thank you for this opportunity to be here. I'm also the president and founder of Why Dads Matter. We have several groups around this state, and I cannot possibly explain all the deficiencies that currently are in the family courts in 10 minutes, so I'll be coming to the rest of your meetings. We've got a large contingency down in Miami. We will be there as well. So I'm going to, and Gary is a good personal friend, and he gets very emotional about it, and I get that, and it is an emotional subject. I will try to hit the 5 points you've asked me to on the strength in government, the improved technology, the quality of the judges, the exchanging of enhancing of court services, and the trust. First of all, the strength in the government. All we're asking you to do is just uphold the Constitution. Uphold our constitutional rights. You know, it's funny that in family court we have this big ball, and it's called the wrecking ball, and that's the family court. That's what family court is. I've been doing this for 15 years, and it said don't get personal, and I'm not going to get personal, but your page says personal experience or first-hand knowledge. I have it, believe me, and so does Gary. So do hundreds of other moms and dads. So I think part of the problem is the secrecy of family courts. And as a judicial watcher, I go into drug court, I go into felony court, I go into small claims, easy access. You go into family court, there are no cameras, you cannot have it recorded, you have to request it, you cannot bring your own camera in, you cannot bring your own recording device in. It's one big secret society. It's a $50 billion industry. I just got back from Washington, D.C. from Divorce Corp, some of the best minds in the world, and they will tell you it is an absolute wrecking ball. I think to bring back the strength in the government is give them less power, quite frankly. Improve the technologies. How about the jack systems? Let's talk about the jack systems. Why is that only allowed for attorneys? Oh, well, we need a court date. Well, get up our judicial counting system and go get a date. Pro se, we have to call the judicial assistant up, beg for a time. Oh, we have to check with the other attorney, and then they send us a snail mail, maybe months or weeks down the road, when it's available for the other attorney. We are treated like second-class citizens, and it's got to stop. I'm a citizen of this country. I deserve to be respected in a court of law, and we are not getting it. You know, it's time to level the playing field. Number 3, the quality of judges. We have 31 judges in the 12th Circuit. I have pulled their law license and their schooling from every one of them, including the magistrates. At the outside, the very most, the average the 31 judges have are between 1 and 3 hours in family law. And guess what that 1 to 3 hours is? How to fill out a damn financial affidavit. It's always about the money. They play our kids like pawns. They treat us like second-class citizens. And if you don't have the money, they pull at your heartstrings and they destroy your family relationship. Parental alienation is alive and well in the family courts. I can assure you, not only in the 12th, throughout this state, and after coming back from D.C., throughout this country. It's got to stop. Enhancing of court services. Now, fortunately, Manatee County, I can get online and check out the records, and it's fairly easy. It's a good system. Gary, on the other hand, is in Sarasota. We want to look in this court. We have to drive down to the courthouse, find a parking space, go and use their computer, and pay $1 a page. While the opposing counsel can sit in his air-conditioned room hit a few buttons, go through the jacks, and print out the same document, 10 documents, for about 3 cents a copy. That takes us 2 hours and $10 out of our pocket. And we're the ones that can least afford it. I think that's a very serious injustice. What else here? Oh yeah, getting back to the time of trying to get a court date. It's non-existent. Why is the attorney's time so much more valuable than ours? It's not. The pro se coordinator in the 12th Circuit, in 10 years I think I've gotten 2 letters, maybe. It's an insane policy. We get crushed in family courts. People are afraid. You know, I could have some of the best attorneys if I wanted. And they say, you know what, I can win this case, but I'll never practice in that circuit again. The attorneys are scared of you guys. I mean, when you get that kind of collaboration, that kind of fear in the family courts, it's time to make a change. You know, here's what we need. We need jury trials. It's funny that you can steal a $25, an illegal can steal a $25 steak and get arrested and have a public defender, have a jury trial, have a court reporter there in case of an appeal, all at the taxpayer's money. You go across the hallway in family court and you get hammered. You have to bring your own court reporter at the tune of $8,000 or $1,000 a day. The recordings are poor at best. Sometimes they get altered. You have to have your own attorney. It's a destructive practice. Dads, moms, families, we deserve better. There has to be a time limit. 10 years? 10 years, that's unacceptable. You look at the cases, and here's an example. Case number 2002 DR 3254, filed in 2002. Personal experience. $800 docket entries. 13 years later, 5,000 pages. And my reward to try to get more than 4 days with my only child who just turned 13, no contact. Call that justice? This is an insane policy. It's got to stop. The destruction of our family has got to stop. Why should a case go on 13 years? There should be time limits. You want to do a temporary order? Do it at 50-50. Don't do it at, every other weekend. You think you can raise a kid in 4 days a month? There's not a judge in this state that would walk 5 days in my shoes, much less the last 15 years. Let's talk about that administrative order. I'm glad you brought that up. Because you know what? I did a records request to the 12th Circuit, to Mr. Chief Judge Owens. I said, did you get the order? He got the order, okay? What I found strange is that, did he respond to it? Here's the response. A month later, currently there is no administrative order issued by Chief Judge Andy Owens regarding the subject matter to the other judges. So I went further and I wrote Chief Judge Lagoria. I said, is there a reasonable time that the chief judge of each circuit should get back to his other 33 judges? They wrote back and they said, file a judicial complaint. Where's the teeth in your own organization? I would think that if this was like a business, you'd be yanking that person in the office and say, I gave you an administrative order. This is a current printout, by the way. That administrative order, both of them, by the way, there were 2 of them, one for the time limit and one for the plan, is not on, as of last week, not on his administrative docket. This is unconscionable. You ask us to trust the government? How can we trust it when the chief judge sends out an administrative order from Tallahassee and the local circuit judge ignores it? I think you need to set up a task force. I think you need to get somebody down there with some teeth and start sitting in some of these family courts and seeing what's going on, how our U.S. Constitution, we are not protected. Granville Troxell's out the window. These guys sit behind there and The guys with the deepest pockets and the highest conflict attorney wins at the destruction of our relationship with our children. It's unconscionable. It's got to change. Like I say, I can't get this all done in 10 minutes. I will be in Pensacola. I will be in Jacksonville. I will be in Miami. I'm sorry I missed Orlando, but I had to do it. I had another meeting. Really, I appreciate your time. I hope you understand Gary's frustration. This is not an isolated incident. There are hundreds, there are thousands of dads and mothers, I might add, both sides of the fence. I sit in courtrooms every week as a judicial watcher, and the destruction of the family unit is unconscionable by today's court standards. It's got to change. So thank you for your time, and I certainly hope that you would take my input seriously. And I'm Sicilian, so I get a little crazy. Thank you.
I have a question on what you said, the average 1 to 3 hours training. Are you talking about annual training that judges do that sit in family law?
Oh, I wish they had that. No, I'm talking about their law degree from either Stetson or whatever they get. And they fill out a financial affidavit. They have no.
In my family law course in law school, I don't think we got into financial affidavits, but are you aware that every year at the Circuit Judges Conference, there's training and tracks that judges go through, as well as at our advanced judicial studies and judges' colleges that focus on that? I'm just making sure you're aware, because you gave that information, and I was curious where you were getting that. So that makes sense. In law school, most people do only take 1 3-hour family law class, unless that's something they say, this is what I want to do. And a lot of judges, like myself, took the bench. I was family law for 2 years without experience. But a lot of judges also, I went over to a 40-hour course that was presented by the bar for people who practice family law to learn more about it. Went to all of the different trainings that were made available to us. And then also went to other judges who had done this for years as well. And I certainly understand. I saw a number of people in your position, both male and female.
It has no bias. Gender has no bias.
Everybody wants to see their children as much as they can. And I think that's a valid point that you made, is that people who want to be involved. We've got way too many parents who don't want to be involved in their kids' lives. And thank you for what you're doing to try to...
And the other thing I might add is the 2 years that you brought up. I think rotation is a bad idea with the judges. I think, if you go down to Fort Myers, I think Judge Stearns is down there, did a great job in family. You do it for 10, 12 years. This rotation, you talk to some of the judges or some of the attorneys, they hate family court. They can't wait to get out of there. That's not the kind of judge we need when it's deciding the future of our children, really. So I thank you for your time.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Is it Gibellina? Did I pronounce that right?
Gibellina, yes.
Okay, thanks. I'm going to ask the same question I asked to Mr. Woodruff, having to do with the ability to have an attorney representing you, because I can understand frustration even if you have the most viable case as a parent, whether male, female, husband, wife, parent, mother, father, what have you. The value of having an attorney. Again, the Chief Justice has commissioned this group to look at the situation. How do we provide people like yourself the ability to have an attorney without breaking the bank in the system? Can you give us some thoughts that you've had about the difficulties of hiring an attorney, not just for yourself, but from others that you've spoken to as part of your organization?
I think, it's funny that people that don't have any money, their divorces go rather quickly. If you've got a lot of money, they really try to drain you till you're actually broke. You're financially broke, spiritually broke, and heartbroken.
The problem that the Chief Justice has identified seems particularly acute in family cases for that very reason. So, again, if you tell us why you're finding that, or frustrations that you're experiencing trying to get an attorney.
Well, because the attorneys are going to know the outcome, because the judge makes decisions. The other part of the problem is they bring all these experts in. They bring in parenting coordinators, licensed the psychologists that aren't even qualified, that even come from broken homes, parenting coordinators that have their own problems. There's unqualified people, and I understand the judge's frustration in trying to bring these experts, because the more information they have, maybe a better decision that he can make. Garbage in, garbage out. If you've got a bad coordinator and a bad licensed clinical social worker, you're going to get bad information. We just want to be parents. That's all we want to be. So when you do a temporary order, the first thing that should come out of a judge's mouth is saying, hey, how's your parenting time? All too often, visitation comes out of their mouth, and aren't you happy with it? We're not visitors, we're parents. And we should continue to be parents. The money thing, like I say, they know the outcome. I think a lot of money is wasted in family court because the results are negligible. The attorney that has the highest conflict and the person that has the deepest pockets, that's who gets the justice. Go see the Trailer Divorce Corp. It'll bring new light to it. So again, I appreciate your time. I hope you understand my frustration. And you're going to hear a lot more in the next sessions around this state because we've got chapters all over the state. And it's not just a state thing. It's throughout this country, and it's sad. It's truly sad. Again, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.